Greetings and thank you so much for dropping by BoogeyMan Ben's Horror Zone. I hope everyone's doing well. Today's video is going to be another segment in my BoogeyMan Break Time series. This is where I take a little step back from the horror genre and talk about something else that either really influenced me or something I was really big into growing up. Today's video is going to be something that I've wanted to talk about for a very long time, and I just didn't know how to do it or how it would work on this channel, even before I started doing these non-horror segments here. But this is going to be talking about a very influential television series, one that I really gravitated towards when it started airing in the mid-90s. Right around the time I was in my late teens, early 20s, and was really influenced heavily by hip-hop and pop culture. And this show just really spoke to me. The name of this show was New York Undercover. York Undercover first aired September 8th, 1994. The show would go on for 4 seasons. The cast, you had Michael DeLorenzo, who played Eddie Torres in seasons 1 through 3. You had Malik Yoba, who played J.C. Williams, seasons 1 through 4. Patty Darvinville Quinn, who played Lieutenant Cooper in seasons 1 through 3. You had Lauren Velez, who played Nina Moreno in seasons 2 through 4. Jonathan LaPaglia played Tommy McNamara. Marissa Ryan in season 4, she would play Detective Nell Delaney. You had Josh Hopkins in season 4. He played Detective Alex Stone. And then you also had Tommy Ford in season 4, who would play Lieutenant Malcolm Barker. The series was created by Dick Wolf, who was known for shows like Law and Order, Homicide. Was also Kevin Arcady, who was involved in the show. The show was originally going to be called Uptown Undercover, named after record label Uptown Records. CEO Andre Harrell was an executive producer. This was the first police drama to feature 2 people of color in starring roles. The show aired on the Fox network during its 4-year run. Aired when shows like Martin and Living Single were major draws. The 2 primary characters in season 1 were Williams and Torres. They were 2 undercover detectives in New York City's 4th District. Their supervisor was Lieutenant Cooper. Nina Moreno would join during the 2nd season. The Tommy McNamara character would join during the show's 3rd season, working alongside Moreno, Torres, and Williams on cases. And the 4th and final season would see Williams and Moreno assigned to a new unit under Malcolm Barker, alongside Nell Delaney and Detective Alex Stone. Turbulent times hit the show's production during what would lead into the show's 3rd season, when Malik Yoba and Michael DeLorenzo decided not to show up for work before the start of shooting. They initially wanted more money and creative input. DeLorenzo wanted directing opportunities. Dick Wolf threatened to write the actors out of the show. Universal Studios also filed a $1.2 million suit against them. The delays were costing the production company $60,000 per day. The matter was resolved. Both actors returned to work under terms and conditions of their original agreement. James Matum, who actually wrote the theme, talked about this on a podcast, saying that Yoba and DeLorenzo didn't tell anyone they were going to strike, and asked him to be the go-between between them and Dick Wolf. And that's what caused the friction and what ultimately led to Michael DeLorenzo's character of Eddie Torres being killed off in the finale of season 3. DeLorenzo didn't know that the character was going to be killed off until the read-through of the final episode. And during the 4th season, the show completely changed format. They sort of stripped it of its individuality and it just became pretty much any other cop show. The change up in season 4 was in the hope of boosting the show's ratings and bringing in a wider demographic. I technically wasn't the demographic for this show, but it was one of those shows that I was drawn to right away. I knew who Michael De Lorenzo was. I had seen him, and of course he's a famous dancer. He was on the show Fame. He was also in Michael Jackson's Beat It video, but I had also seen him in other things. Like I had seen him in Fatal Beauty. He was in that. He was on Head of the Class. I'd seen him in movies like Judgment Night and A Few Good Men. So I knew who he was, and I was a really big fan of his acting and the characters that he portrayed. Malik Yoba, I had seen in the movie Cool Runnings with John Candy. That was like one of the only things I had seen him in, and I think that was his first movie, if I'm not mistaken. Patty Darwinville Quinn I knew from movies with Chevy Chase like Modern Problems. I was really into cop dramas, and my favorite movies growing up were like Beverly Hills Cop and Lethal Weapon. So I was really into cop dramas, and especially with the hip-hop vibe. I was really into rap music around this time. I was really into Tupac and Ice Cube and all of that music, and the fact that the show not only introduced me to a lot of different rap artists and music. I just loved the way that the stories were told, and that every opening, from seasons 1 through 3 had this like music video style opening that told you everything you needed to know about what the story was going to be about that week, who the antagonists were going to be, and it was all done in this really quick, like 3-minute intro that had some great music and really just got you hooked. Even with the opening theme song that James Matum did, I love that opening theme for the first 3 seasons. Just absolutely got me hooked. I was excited. One platform that the show had that was really amazing and really worked so well was the nightclub Natalie's. Where you would have all kinds of artists that would show up, and some of them were like newer artists that would do covers of older songs, or you'd have Aaliyah, you'd have Blackstreet, you'd have Tevin Campbell, Johnny Gill, you'd have Tracy Chapman, or you would have B.B. King, you'd have Luther Vandross, you'd have so many amazing talented artists, and it was such a great platform to sort of introduce people to like older artists and also show the range of newer artists that were really popular at the time. And it was such a fantastic element of the first 3 seasons because you were always curious like who was going to show up at Natalie's that week. Season 2, the introduction of Nina Moreno, not just Eddie Torres' girlfriend. She was a very strong character. And I always thought Lauren Velez did a terrific job, and I loved her character right away. She just fit in with the dynamic of Torres and Williams and Cooper right away. The 3rd season I really enjoy. The Tommy McNamara character that Jonathan LaPaglia played, he never really fit. There was just something off about that character, and it's no fault of the actor. I think he did a great job, and I think they were trying to bring in a broader demographic, because Fox was primarily known for shows like Melrose Place and Party of Five and 90210 and things like that were primarily white demographic audiences, and I think they were trying to get some of that into New York Undercover to make the ratings go up for some reason. But there was something off about the McNamara character. He never really fit with the rest of the group, I didn't think, even though I think Jonathan LaPaglia did a great job. I felt like we sort of got to know the character over the course of the season. You got to know him a little bit better because he was dealing with the murder of his father, and so that was like a big story point. But then at the end of season 3, they just killed him, and it was kind of like you had all this setup for him to just be killed off the way he was, and it was just kind of like it was kind of just like out of left field. Like you didn't think that they were going to really kill him off, and then in that same episode when they killed off Eddie Torres in an explosion, a bomb explosion, and this is the same episode where he and Nina get married. It crushed me because I'm like going, you just killed the show. I kept thinking that maybe it was a dream, maybe they were gonna rectify it in the 4th season and say that it was all a dream. But then when the 4th season got delayed and they aired it as a mid-season replacement in 1998, it just wasn't the same. They took Williams and Moreno out of the 4th precinct, so Lieutenant Cooper was written out, and they put them in this sort of like undercover, like it looked like it was set in like a abandoned factory, And then you had the Malcolm Barker character, who was played by the late great Tommy Ford, who I loved on Martin and in movies like Class Act. I thought he was hilarious, but him and the two new detectives, they stripped all the hip-hop elements out of it, and it just didn't have the same flavor that the first 3 seasons did, and people just walked away from it in terms of watching it. The 4th season was terrible. It had none of the flavor that the first 3 seasons had. You know, the openings were gone. The Club Natalie's was gone. Everything about it that made it what it was stripped away by the powers that be, and they killed it. And I think it's such a tragic end to such a fantastic show that had so much potential to go on, like some of these shows like Law & Order or CSI. I could see this show going on for at least 10, 15 years, maybe longer. But the fact that they gutted it after the end of the 3rd season, it just tanked it. There's supposed to be a resurgence of New York Undercover. They shot a new pilot that was supposed to air on NBC, and they didn't pick it up. So it's being shopped around. So hopefully one day we'll get to see we'll get to see it. I know that Malik Yoba and Lauren Velez will both be in it. I haven't heard anything about Lieutenant Cooper, Patty Darmanville Quinn being in it, and it's just a shame. It's a show, like I said, that had a huge influence on me as a kid. I idolized Malik Yoba and Michael De Lorenzo. I just thought they were both such good actors, and they dressed hella cool, and I just loved the whole hip-hop, rap music, and the influence on style with their clothes, and then the openings to the episodes. It was so amazing to me, and I looked forward to watching it every Thursday night. And I hate the way it was unceremoniously neutered by Fox and the creators, and just destroyed everything that made it so unique and so amazing. And I can only hope that one day we will see it come back, or we will see some type of, media release of the episodes on Blu-ray or a streaming service, something, because this show needs to be talked about. And I think it's really important, especially in these times right now, that there's more shows like this on television. So New York Undercover, like I said, BoogeyMan Break Time segment. I'm curious if anybody else is a fan of this show. If you are, leave me your thoughts down in the comments section below. Would love to hear from everyone. And thanks so much for dropping by for another non-horror segment. I love doing these from time to time, and I do plan to have some more horror-related stuff coming up very soon. But thanks so much, everyone, for checking this out. Leave me some thoughts down below, and I'll talk to you guys again later. Take it easy. I want to thank everyone for taking this time to drop by the Horror Zone. It really means a lot to me that people are supporting what I do here. If you like this video, please hit the subscribe button down below. I upload videos at least once or twice a week. It would really mean a lot if people would spread the word about this channel. This is a passion of mine. I love the horror genre, and I'm really happy to share my love of it with all of you. So thanks so much again for checking it out, and I'll talk to you guys later. Take it easy. Peace.